Well, hello. Welcome back to Survival Saturday with Johnny Tiger on January 16, 2021. I don't know if any of you ever wondered about this, but one of my students asked me this question before. He said, Sensei, why is it when I watch professional fighting, why is it when I watch boxing or MMA or those stuff, most of those guys, these supposedly professional fighters, they don't look all that muscular. I mean, you come across the occasional super jacked, super ripped ones, but for the most part, especially in the heavyweight, super heavyweight, a lot of them actually look a little bit more on the chubby side than they look muscular. To answer that question, I told him, I started by telling him the legend of the origin of sumo wrestlers. I'm going to tell it to you guys today. Now, this is just a legend. This is not historical. This is not fact. This is just what was told to me by my sensei back in the old days. And I don't think it's even true. But it actually has some grains of truth in it when you think about the logic. So the legend goes that about 400 or 500 years ago, when Japan was back in the era where there's a lot of warlords and a lot of factions fighting among each other, and people always were trying to come up with the ultimate killing technique, ultimate martial art, ultimate ways to secure their power. There was this one daimyo, or this one warlord, who, being a really fat guy himself and immensely strong, came to the realization that if he could somehow surround himself with a wall of flesh, then it would be impossible for any assassin to get to him. So, to reach that end, this warlord started training this elite troop of specialized guards. They all had to be really tall, and they all had to eat and eat and train and eat and train. All they would do was train and eat every day until these people became hundred and hundred-pound more heavier than any other people. And these became the first sumo wrestlers. And anywhere he went, he would have a group of these guys standing around him. They were all bigger than him by 200 or 300 pounds. They were all taller than him. So it's impossible for anyone to get at him, even if they were trying to fire arrows at him. These guys were so massive, they were so fat that they could take a lot of arrows before the arrows would hit anything fatal. This warlord eventually got defeated when an assassin got smart and decided to target these guys' eyes and blinded all his bodyguard before assassinating the emperor. So, I guess the getting fat part didn't really work when someone just targets your eyes. But anyway, that's the legend, one of the legends on how sumo wrestlers came to be. While it is not purely historical, it is not purely factual. What we hear from the story is fat actually protect you from harm, and that is really true. So that's what I'm going to talk to you guys about that today. Is that we often hear people talk about they want rock hard stomach, they want rock hard chest, they want rock hard bicep, they want rock hard everything. Nowadays, everything is very visual. People want a rip and cut physique, and they think big muscles, big hard muscles, going to make you a good fighter. Well, hate to tell you that big, big, hard, rock hard muscles do not make you a good fighter. They make you get hurt a lot more. It is when you have adequate muscles covered by a little bit of padding, both above and beneath, that is going to give you that little bit of an edge in a fight. This is why, for the most part, you look at professional fighters, unless you look at welterweight, lightweight, middleweight, guys that probably have like 6% body fat to begin with, then you'll see a lot of muscles. Otherwise, you look at heavyweight, look at super heavyweight, they're not going to look all that muscular for the most part. They're going to look a little bit maybe fluffy, a little bit too well padded, but make no mistake, the muscles are there. They're just hiding under a very thin layer of uh, fat and lard. But that's what makes these guys very dangerous. Now, some people may say, well, yeah, but how about Bruce Lee? How about Bruce Lee? Bruce Lee had super chiseled physique, and he's one of the best martial artists in modern history. Well, I don't want to debate the merit of Bruce Lee. I don't want to disrespect his memory by saying that Bruce Lee uh, is not a real fighter, not a real martial artist, because Bruce Lee definitely was a real martial artist. Bruce Lee definitely was good at his martial art. But if you sit down and take off your fan club membership card and actually think about it, Bruce Lee was not a fighter. Bruce Lee was a movie maker. Bruce Lee was an actor, a superstar, a movie maker, a director, a philosopher. He was not a fighter. There has never, to my knowledge, now if you can find contrary to what I say, then please post it in comments. We would like to see it. But to my knowledge, there has never been any official footage or record of Bruce Lee fighting anyone for real. There has been never been any record where Bruce Lee showed any kind of ability to take a real beating or real punishment. Bruce Lee's claim to fame has mostly been him hitting someone who was paid to be defeated by him, like in his movies, or Bruce Lee hitting inanimate objects, or Bruce Lee hitting someone who is paid to be in a demonstration with him on stage. There has never been a footage of Bruce Lee fighting for real, Bruce Lee fighting for his life, or anything like that. So does that mean that he was not a fighter? Well, we can't say that because just because there's no footage doesn't mean that he wasn't, but we have to uh, treat it as a grain of salt. So Bruce Lee having a very chiseled physique, very solid muscles, had nothing to do with his fighting ability for the most part, because as far as we can tell, that he never had to fight anyone for real. Now, with that said, let's get on with our demonstration of the day, and I'll show you guys a little trick on how to survive getting gut punched. I got these roofing tiles here. Most of you have seen these before when I do board breaking, and I'm going to show you guys the difference between fat and muscle. If I put this roofing tile just on this counter, it's very solid. Huh? That's muscle. That's simulate muscle. Okay, there's no give. This is someone with rock hard muscle. Okay, rock hard muscle. And see what happened when I hit this rock hard muscle. Rock hard muscle broke in half. Now we put down this nice thick packing foam, and then we put this roofing tile on the foam. Now this is a slab of muscle sitting on a slab of fat. This is no longer rock solid. This actually has give to it. Now, when we hit it, right? It's not breaking. It's not breaking. Okay? Ow, that actually hurts my hand. Um, does that mean that I can't break it when it's like this? Yeah, I can. There's a way to do it, but you have to be really, really amping up on the power and velocity. In other words, when I hit this now, I can't be as casual as before. That casual smack like before no longer does the trick because this thing is no longer rock solid. It gets out of the way when I hit it. So I have to hit it with almost full speed, full velocity, like that. I can still break it, but it takes a lot more concentration, a lot more effort. Human body is the same way. Okay, when you have everything rock solid, that there's no give, when something hit it hard enough, things going to break. If something doesn't yield, it will break. Right? Remember that. If something doesn't yield, something doesn't give, it will break. But if, let's say, I hold out my arm, I'm totally stiff, and someone smacked my arm hard enough, my arm is going to break, right? But let's say if I hold on my arm and someone smacked me, and if I'm not so stiff that my arm actually move, then I can put it right back. Hit me again, boom. Hit me again, boom. Hit me again, boom. It's not hurting me because I am dumping most of that impact. Okay, human stomach, same thing. Let me show you guys um, how to survive. Okay, when someone hits you in the belly. We got this our trusty rolling pin here. I hope you guys can see me. Now, I can't believe I'm about to do this. But anyway, anything for the video. Um, if someone swing this at my belly, if I tense up my super duper six pack abs, if I tense up and I'm rock hard and they hit me, oh God, oh, that hurts. Ah, like I said, can't believe I just do that to myself. Anyway, now if they swing at me, but I rather than tensing up, I relax into the hit. I let my body drop forward a little bit so that little bit of fat drop over my muscle and my muscle are not so rigid. And they throw the same hit. Yeah, still hurts, but it's nowhere nearly as painful as when I was tensing up. Okay, so when someone throw a punch or a baseball bat or something at your stomach, your middle, okay, you don't want to tense up. You don't want that rock hard muscle. You want to engage your muscle maybe only 60%. Okay, you want to relax and engage a little bit. The reason you want to engage a little bit is because you don't want this impact to travel right back into your guts, into your internal organ. You still want to give it some resistance, but you don't want it to be totally unyielding. You need your stomach to have some give. You need some of that fat in there to take the impact rather than this thing tearing up your entire midsection muscle. Okay, so by hunching forward slightly, letting my belly relax, maybe push out my belly a little bit, and then keep about 50-60% tension on my abs. No problem. It hurts, but I can take a lot more of these than if I tense up for it. Thank you for checking out today's Survival Saturday. We'll be back again tomorrow for more self mutilation. I mean, Soul Search Sunday. For now, have a good night and stay safe out there.